They said the future was coming, but BMW didn't wait for it, they built it. This isn't a truck, it's a declaration of dominance forged in metal, powered by innovation. Every line, every curve, every bolt screams power and perfection. 8 wheels, armored body, and a design that looks straight out of a sci-fi movie. But this is real, it's not made for the roads, it's made to rule them. BMW calls it the future beast, a machine that doesn't just move, it commands attention. So next time you see this monster rolling down the street, don't blink, because you're looking at the future right now. But let me tell you a story about how this machine came to life. Engineers didn't design it on paper, they dreamed it. They imagined a world where strength meets silence, where luxury meets madness, where speed meets stability, and then they created this, a machine that breaks every rule written by time and logic. You can feel its presence before it even arrives. The sound is not just an engine roar, it's the heartbeat of the future, echoing through steel walls and neon reflections every inch of this body tells a story of precision and passion. As the lights turn on, the metal begins to breathe, the shadows crawl along its curves, and the world around it freezes. People don't just look at it, they stare in disbelief, because this thing isn't built to impress, it's built to dominate. The way it stands, the way it moves, it's a reminder that BMW doesn't follow trends, they create them. It's not about transportation anymore, it's about transformation. This is what happens when human imagination meets machine perfection. And while the world keeps chasing speed, BMW created something beyond speed, something that defines power in silence. The futuristic interior feels like the cockpit of a spaceship. Every light, every screen, every touch is calculated with purpose. This isn't luxury, it's evolution. The control panels glow like stars, the seats are just like living organisms, adapting to your body as if the machine knows who you are. It's not driving, it's connecting mind and machine, moving as one. Outside, the night reflects on the matte gray skin of the beast. It's not a color, it's an attitude, it's stealth, strength and supremacy, all wrapped in one. The wheels turn slowly as if time itself bends for it, and when it finally moves, everything else fades away, because this machine doesn't just cross distance, it erases it. This is the moment when technology meets emotion, when vision becomes motion, when BMW redefines what's possible. People will remember this not as another concept, but as the day the future came alive. This is not a prototype, it's a prophecy, a symbol of where the world is heading, of what humans can achieve when they dare to dream beyond limits. This is not about luxury or speed anymore, it's about power, presence and perfection. This is BMW's statement to the world that the future doesn't wait, it arrives in style. But the story doesn't end here, because behind every design there is a dream, and behind every dream there is a revolution. What you see as a machine is actually a vision of tomorrow, a moving piece of art that challenges everything we thought we knew about vehicles, about power, about beauty. BMW didn't just build this to impress the world, they built it to rewrite the meaning of innovation, to show that imagination has no limits and perfection is not a goal, it's a journey. Imagine standing next to it, the cold air hits the metallic body, the lights flicker softly across its edges, and the floor reflects its shadow like a mirror. You don't just see it, you feel it, like standing near a sleeping beast waiting to awaken. Its energy moves through the air, you can sense it in your heartbeat. It doesn't even have to move to remind you that it's alive. This is more than engineering, this is emotion carved in steel. And then with a single sound the beast awakens, the lights ignite, the engines hum deep and calm, not screaming but whispering power in a tone that feels almost human. You watch as the glow spreads through its frame like veins of light running through a living creature. The reflections dance on its skin like fire, and for a moment you forget it's just a machine, because it feels like it's breathing, it feels like it's watching you too. They call it the future beast, but it's something greater. It's the bridge between man and machine, the perfect fusion of intelligence and instinct. It doesn't just respond to commands, it understands them. The sensors read every inch of the environment, the systems predict your next move before you even touch the controls. This is not artificial intelligence, this is living intelligence, precision beyond thought, awareness beyond vision. And when it starts to move, it's not speed, you feel its gravity shifting, space bending to its will. The motion is smooth but powerful, quiet but commanding. It glides across the floor like a shadow, like a predator that knows its strength doesn't need to shout. Every detail is deliberate, every angle crafted for balance, beauty and brute force combined. It's not made to race, it's made to reign. The city lights reflect on its surface as it passes through. The night towers glow like stars, the world becomes its stage and everything else fades into the background. The way it moves through the streets feels almost unreal, like watching the future drive past. The silence of power, the elegance of destruction, the calm before evolution. The machine doesn't belong to today, it belongs to what's coming next. And somewhere deep inside that machine lies a heartbeat, not of a human but of a dreamer, the kind of dreamer who refuses to stop imagining what could be. Every wire, every bolt, every spark is a result of that relentless vision to build something beyond the limits of now. This is not technology, it's artistry in motion, the embodiment of what happens when passion meets precision. BMW didn't just design a vehicle, they designed a feeling, NMO. The sun begins to rise and the first light touches the surface of the machine. The gray body turns silver under the dawn, the edges catch fire in the reflection, and suddenly the future doesn't feel distant anymore, it feels real, right here in front of you, glowing, breathing, waiting to move again. This is not morning, it's rebirth, the kind of silence that happens before history begins. Engineers walk around it quietly, every movement measured, every glance filled with pride. They know what they have built, they know they have changed the definition of power. This is the point where imagination met precision and refused to break. This is the heartbeat of a generation that refused to stop dreaming. They called it impossible, they said it could not exist, but the impossible is exactly where BMW begins. The lights come alive again, spreading across the body like lightning, veins of energy wrapping around metal like art in motion. The floor vibrates, the sound is low like thunder buried under the earth. The beast wakes slowly, aware of its own strength, aware of its purpose. The air feels heavier, as if the world itself pauses to make space for it. You realize now that this machine is more than design, it's destiny, a message to every creator, every dreamer, that perfection is not something you find, it's something you build with your own hands and your own will. BMW built this not to follow the future but to lead it, to set a standard so high that everything else looks like the past. The world keeps talking about evolution, but BMW is already living it. And as it begins to move, the light follows, the reflection stretches across the horizon. It doesn't roar, it glides, a silent storm, a moving sculpture. Every turn, every reflection feels like poetry written in motion. Its power without arrogance, speed without chaos, beauty without limits. It passes through empty streets like a ghost of the future, leaving only silence and awe behind. People stop and stare, they don't even breathe for a moment, because they know what they're seeing isn't ordinary. It's something that belongs to another time, another world, maybe another dimension. The gray beast rolls forward, calm, unshaken, like it knows something we don't, a secret written in steel and light, a promise that humanity has only just begun to understand its own potential. And as the journey continues, the camera closes and you see the glow of the BMW symbol shining bright, the heart of innovation beating louder than ever. It's not just a logo, it's a legacy built on courage, creativity and pure willpower, the kind that turns dreams into machines and machines into legends. The wind moves the dust, the light bends, the city disappears behind it, and the voice inside your head whispers, this is what the future looks like, this is what progress sounds like, not loud, not chaotic, but calm, powerful and unstoppable like time itself. The road ahead stretches into the horizon, endless silent waiting, and the beast keeps moving, not for fame, not for recognition, but for the purpose. The world moves forward, but the legend stays the same. The sound of its engine becomes a memory that refuses to fade. Cities grow brighter, roads grow longer, technology grows smarter, but nothing matches the soul that breathes inside this machine, because this isn't just progress, it's poetry in motion. It's the sound of human ambition echoing through metal, glass and light. Every curve still shines like it was carved yesterday, every bolt still speaks the language of precision. People from every corner of the world have heard the story. They talk about the day BMW changed everything, the day a machine stopped being a vehicle and became an emotion. They see it not as transportation but as transformation. They call it art, they call it power, they call it the moment the future began. They gather around just to feel its presence, not to take pictures but to understand what it means to create something that never fades. The gray color still glows under neon skies, the edges still cut through the wind like silver blades, and when it stands still it still feels alive, like it's thinking, like it's waiting for a signal from tomorrow. Sometimes it moves through the fog and the world falls silent because everyone knows what's coming. The light, the motion, the presence, the power. It doesn't rush, it doesn't chase, it leads. BMW didn't just build a truck, they built a statement that the best way to predict the future is to build it. Every part of this creation is a conversation between man and machine, between art and logic, between silence and thunder. The engineers didn't design it for comfort, they designed it for command. They wanted to create a feeling, the kind that moves through your veins when you stand too close to something that feels greater than human. And when it turns the corner, the reflections follow like waves, light slides across the surface like liquid fire, and for a moment time slows. The world feels softer, quieter, smaller, as if the universe itself is watching and learning from what humanity has created. The road stretches like infinity, but the beast moves without effort. It's not about the destination, it's about the dominance. It's not chasing time, it's teaching time how to move. Inside the cockpit the light hums softly, every screen glows like starlight. The atmosphere is alive but peaceful, the driver feels more like a pilot, the steering responds like thought. The air feels heavier yet calm. It's not transportation, it's transformation. The silence inside is louder than any engine because it's filled with meaning and mastery. It's not just about control, it's about connection, a bond between creation and creator. And somewhere deep inside that silence there's pride that this machine came from imagination, pride that it carries the DNA of perfection that BMW has built over decades, a name that doesn't just stand for luxury but for legacy, for the courage to go further, to create what others only imagine. This